Hello! Today's stories come from r/slash Today I Messed Up. We've got 3 stories today, starting with Today I Messed Up by visiting my absolute crazy family in Oklahoma. Some backstory. My wife was scheduled for a business trip, so I decided that during her time away, I would go visit my family. Since they live in the United States' heart of methadism, the great state of Okla run and don't look back homa, I knew it would be a chaotic visit, but had no idea what exactly was in store for me this time around. After letting my mom know what dates I was coming for the visit, I started getting some weirder than normal texts. Now, usually texts from my family go something like this: I read online that snorting hydrogen peroxide is good for your health. Or, we're taking out a loan to buy a chateau because the jacuzzi we just bought doesn't fit in the house. Mind you, both of my parents are broke, refuse to apply for jobs, and are largely living off my siblings' incomes. But this time, I got a flurry of text messages accusing my wife of secretly abusing me. The reason these messages were so odd is that my family has known my wife for over 10 years, and she is literally the sweetest person ever. And ironically enough, my parents are the ones with the past history of abusing all of their kids verbally, emotionally, physically, and financially. And my angel of a wife has consistently loved and supported me through the PTSD aftermath of growing up with that kind of abuse. So, after reassuring my mom that my wife is still the same sweet, non abusive person as always, she started going on about secret knowledge she had and wouldn't tell me what it was. Finally, I just chalked it up to her being bored and trying to start something for entertainment purposes. So, fast forward to the actual familial visit, woke up exhausted and decided to treat myself to some coffee at a local coffee shop. The one I was going to was about a 5-mile drive from where my parents live. But I'd been so stressed out from the usual family arguments and gaslighting that highway hypnosis kicked in and I ended up half an hour away. Realizing I'd have to drive half an hour back, I went ahead and called my mom to let her know so she wouldn't worry. Shortly thereafter, my sister calls me. She goes on about how highway hypnosis proves I'm unhinged and delusional. She says I must have something wrong with my brain and need immediate medical attention at an ER. But not the closest ER to me, the closest ER to her. She lives 2 hours from my parents. She says I need to see Dr. X and have him sign paperwork to get me checked into a mental ward for my own safety. When I tell her she's overreacting and that I'm perfectly okay, it was just me zoning out and going on autopilot for the drive, she tells me she and my mom have been noticing a worsening pattern in my cognitive behavior for a while. I ask her what behavior, and she won't give me a clear answer. Anyway, I get back to my parents' house and go into their guest house to finish my coffee and send a few emails before fully starting the day. Except I hear a noise in my mom's office, next to the room I'm staying in, so naturally I decide to check it out. Spoiler, it was my mom's cat knocking down a folder full of papers from her desk. Going to pick the papers up, something catches my eye. My name. On paper after paper, there was my name. On an involuntary civil commitment, needing a physician's approval signature for indefinite commitment, power of attorney going to my mother upon my involuntary commitment, proxy divorce papers to be filed on my behalf against my wife, and written statements by my family that my wife had abused me and were therefore requesting annual alimony to be paid to my soon to be power of attorney for the remainder of my involuntary commitment. My blood ran cold. Of all the ways to extort my wife for money, they were trying to get me locked up for life in a psychiatric ward to do it. I called my wife, packed my bags, and left without saying goodbye. Edit. Thank you all for the advice and positivity. I just wanted to add these updates. The reason I felt it was okay to leave the cat is that my parents treat her like a cat goddess. I think it's common with a lot of narcs that they're able to love pets and plants unconditionally, but not their own kiddos. This isn't the first time they've tried getting me committed, sadly. In high school, a decade ago, we were having a big fight and my parents tried forcing me into the car to take me to an ER to be committed. Also, I had to use the bathroom in the middle of the fight. They followed me to the bathroom to continue fighting with me and ended up physically dragging me off the toilet. I realize most families aren't like this, and I should have gone no contact a long time ago. Narcissistic abuse messes with your head pretty badly, and I still deal with bad bouts of guilt that make me think I'm in the wrong and need to make amends. I'm applying for a new social security number and changing my name. My social security number has also never worked properly, so it might not even be a real one. Thank you for all the advice on things I hadn't even considered could happen. I appreciate it, and I'm sorry to everyone who has gone through the same thing. You don't deserve that nonsense, and I hope you're able to live a happy, stress free life. OP actually sounds like a normal person, which is pretty astonishing considering the trash that brought him up. Sounds like he managed to find an amazing life partner in spite of the abuse he was subjected to, which is really amazing. I have to say, I'm not sure this is really a today I messed up story because in the end, OP saw his parents and family for who they truly are, and he was able to finally go no contact. OP provides more details in the comments. Let's check those out. Ginger Libra said, "This makes August Osage County seem like a very wholesome movie. Way to go, OP. Get a restraining order. This is one of the weirdest things I've ever read on Reddit, and that's saying something." OP replied, "Definitely going to file for a restraining order if they try anything again. But my wife and I are moving across country, and they aren't aware of where, so hopefully that'll be a good enough deterrent." Grumpy Terrier asked, "Is your family on drugs? What are they so in need of money for? Just stuff?" OP replied, "I don't know. They have multi-million-dollar debt. None of my siblings really knows where it all goes. So it probably is drugs." Tuga Lizabon said, "Did you take pics of all the papers? Hope you did. Get lawyered up and set up something to prevent this and establish their bad faith." OP replied, "Already on it. A potential future of being stuck in a psych ward forever gave me a good enough scare to get legal advice." Our second story is hilarious. Today I messed up by disappointing a man who wanted to get laid by a maid. I'm a professional house cleaner in a large city. My first house today was beautiful and pretty big, 4,000 plus square feet. I had never cleaned this house before today. It's kind of interesting to clean the home of people you have never actually met while they are not home. I never snoop, but I do learn about people just by the state of their house or whatever is out. These people seem like they really needed us. I would guess they are busy and don't have much time for cleaning and organizing, but definitely have an active, intimate life judging by the master bedroom. I love cleaning dirty houses and was like amping myself up doing a mini Rocky training montage warm up and finding the perfect music to work to, Pantera. I was sweating like 4 hours in, but I was getting this house sparkling. All I had left to clean were the floors when a man walked in. I welcomed him home and let him know I just needed to clean the floors and would be finished soon. He looked super confused and then kind of grinned and asked if I was his birthday gift. I didn't really know what he meant. Maybe his wife scheduled the service on his birthday? I just answered with, "Maybe? Happy birthday, Mr. Henricks." To which he looked even more confused and told me his name was not Henricks. Well, that's because his next door neighbor, my actual client, is Mr. Henricks. I walked my happy butt into the wrong dang house and cleaned the heck out of it. And then the guy who lived there came home and thought I was an intimate worker, role playing as a house cleaner, hired by his wife as a birthday present. I was so totally embarrassed explaining myself to this guy and my boss. The entry instructions in the app said the client wouldn't be home, but that there was a key under the mat. There was no key under the mat, but the front door was unlocked. This is not even the first time in my life that I have let myself into the wrong house, although the first time was not a work thing. On the plus side, dude was so happy with how clean his house was that I finished the floors and he paid me what my company would have charged him, plus a tip. What a wife this guy must have. Am I right? The story is so amazing. Let's check out some fun comments. Mostly introverted said, "At least you still got paid, so your efforts were not wasted." OP. "I think I really lucked out. That guy would have been well within his rights not to pay. It would have been reasonable for him to be angry. Instead, he was really nice about it. Maybe also a little embarrassed that he asked me if I was a bang maid." Speculatrix asked, "Might or might not be nice to know he thought you too attractive to be a regular maid?" OP replied, "Our company is lousy with attractive women. We boast the hottest grandma I have ever seen." Sweetheart said, "I mean, sounds like a happy ending to me." Minataba added, "Not for him." Unikatsi said, "I also want someone to accidentally come into my house to clean it." OP replied, "Please let me know if someone ever does so that I'll feel better about myself." Unikatsi replied, "I'll send you my neighbor's address." Our last story is super short, but the Reddit crowd really seemed to love it. Today I messed up by sending a call from the International Space Station to voicemail. This happened 2 days ago, Sunday. A friend of mine is currently on his second mission to the International Space Station. I saw a call come in on my iPhone and the caller ID said US government. I first had that thought and feeling you get when the principal calls you to their office. Crap. What did I do that I thought I got away with, but maybe I didn't? I was in the middle of something with a bunch of people and showed them what it said on my phone, and everyone was all, don't answer it. Between everyone's suggestion and my gut feeling of being in trouble, I sent it to voicemail. Turns out it was my buddy calling from space. I had a chance to speak to someone that wasn't on Earth and messed it up. First thing he said in the voicemail was, "You probably saw a call from the US government and turned it down. I know he'll call again, but dang, do I feel like an idiot right now." I think it's telling that friends predicted OP's response to a call from government, whether they're in space or not. People had far wittier things to say in the comments, though, so let's check them out. Flailing Baby Giraffe said, "I feel like it's almost cooler that you have a voicemail from someone calling from space since you can save it." OP replied, "That's true. Good news is that I'll have that and we'll still be able to talk to him. So yeah, win-win." Woo Me quipped, "Who on earth would be ringing me at this hour?" Dr. Throwaway replied, "Beautiful." Someone else added, "Who calls anymore anyway? Text me or forget me. Even from space, a space text would have sufficed." DGM42 said, "I saw a story about a British explorer who trekked overland to the South Pole. When he got there, he called his grandmother on his satellite phone to tell her what he had done. He reported listening to the long distance operator telling Grandma that she had a call from her grandson at the South Pole, and Grandma saying, 'That boy never had any sense. I'm not paying for a call from that far away,' and hanging up. Someone replied, 'You have a collect call from, pick me up, I'm at the South Pole. Do you accept the charges?' St. Kevin replied, 'Ha, lol, I forgot we used to call our parents like that when we were kids. You have a collect call from Pick Me Up at the mall. Do you accept the charges?' Totally saved 25 cents. It seemed brilliant at the time." If you've enjoyed the story and would like to hear more, consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment. Thanks, and bye for now.